Hi everybody, this is Sharon, and this is part 2 of my buddy color with Sharon. Okay, I got my Prismacolors out, and I think right now I'm going to do a little bit of blending there so you don't see the whiteness from the paper, because it's like a little grainy. So I'm just filling it in just a little bit. So how was everybody's day? Did you do anything fun? I babysat. It was a nice day. I had Carson outside most of the day, and after Blake's nap he had lunch, and then I decided to take him outside because Amber said that he likes being outside on the blanket and he doesn't leave the blanket. So I'm like, okay, so I take the blanket out and his toys. I get a little grocery bag, put my phone in it and my book, and what else? Oh, and little treats for Blake. And he sat on that blanket and screamed, or he'd get on the grass and scream. He just was not a happy camper. So Amber came home, asked what his problem was. I said he doesn't like it out here. She says, well, you could have brought his bouncer out here, but I don't know how to take apart his bouncer. So that didn't happen. And it's supposed to rain like for the next 4 or 5 days. So I wanted to get Carson outside while I could. I'm hoping they'll change the forecast, because who the hell wants a rainy Memorial Day weekend? I'm really hoping that there's no picnics. I kind of want to. If it's going to be rainy, I kind of want to do some cleaning in the house. I have a lot done in the family room. Well, this is looking better already. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to zoom in and show you what I mean by, you can see, you know, kind of like the paper. Let it zoom. I'm sorry. I thought it would do a little better. But it's kind of grainy. See how it's kind of grainy? Well, then I'll just take this. This is a Prismacolor colorless blender. And I just, if you notice, see how it's all blended now and you don't see the graininess. So yeah, there. So I watched Dee Dee today. She was coloring in a new coloring book, which is absolutely beautiful. As always, I can't remember the name of the coloring book. But she did a live stream on Ustream TV, so I watched that on my laptop. And then I'm taking this on this scrap paper and cleaning all the green off so I can go in and do the pink flowers. Because I love this book, but the paper's a little grainy, so with the Prismacolor, I don't know how it is with polychromos, but with Prismacolors, you can see the white of the paper. It's not all even, so I just fixed that with the blender. And yes, I know I need a new one. Look at the size of that. I use this one all the time. I have another one. I think that's in the case with my Marco Refines, whatever it is. So, if we get to the city this week, although, yeah, that's not going to happen because I remember reading that the art store is going to be closed this weekend. I think it's closed Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Maybe I can get to the store Friday. I'll have to look up their hours. I'm not in need of a new one yet because I still have another one. So. Very quiet out, just the birds. So I started a new routine when I get home of walking, dancing, moving around in place for up to anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour while watching YouTube videos or chatting with Jen. I chatted with Jen for an hour today while working out. So that works really good. And it keeps me honest in doing it, and I'm glad that she is there for me. So I did watch Jen. I did watch Sharon's video today on her doing this. In my pencil sharpener. She cracked me up because she was talking about me and saying how pissed I was. I don't even think that's the right color, is it? What did I use? Oh, I used hot pink. This one's neon pink. Where's that hot? There it is. So, she had mentioned a video that I had done. That I had problems with a grayscale picture. But Sharon, I don't remember being that pissed. I remember being upset, and I remember being very frustrated. But saying that I was pissed off, I don't think that I was. Anyways, today's topic is going to be on my cross-stitch retreats. Just something to talk about. So my first computer I got was in the spring of 1999. And I wanted the computer because Aileen's Crafts was a TV show, which is Aileen's Glue and stuff like that. Well, she had her own TV show. And then she had a chat room for crafters to go in. And so I had gone in and I met quite a few crafters in there. And some of them I am actually still friends with and have met in person. Anyways, I got in there and I met some cross stitchers, which is what I was. I didn't really do any other crafts. I did a little bit of like painting on shirts. But it was mostly cross stitching. And I wanted to meet other cross stitchers. And then I found out about this group online called Cross Stitch Pals. And they had a chat room and a forum. So I joined that. And Amy, who is the owner of Down Sunshine Lane online cross stitch store, was the owner of the Cross Stitch Pals. She still is the owner. And so she talked, I was in the chat room, and she was talking about the cross stitch retreat she had the year before. And would I be interested in that? And I asked where it was. She says it's in Myrtle Beach. So I'm like, okay, I'll have to ask my husband. I've never flown in a plane. I didn't know these people. Justin was 9 and Dylan was 7. Like, okay, do we take the boys? And my friend Amy said she'd watch them and take care of my pets for me. So I said, okay, so I paid the registration fee, put a deposit down on the room. It's a 16-hour drive. Scott's parents were on, they had AAA. So they got a triptych for us. So away we go. And at that time, I had also met someone that I got really close to for quite a while online. And she had invited us to stop at her house along the way and visit her for a couple of days. She even took us in to, I think we spent one night. Yeah, I think we just spent one night there. And I got to know her. And her and I stayed friends for a long time. But she kind of stopped doing things online. So I don't hear from her anymore. Which is sad because I really, really liked her. So her and her husband had taken us out to dinner, and her and I cross-stitched, and the guys sat in there and chatted and in their living room watching TV, and we had a really, really good time. I was really glad to have gotten to know her and her husband. And her 2 kids were, I think they were teenagers back then. She was around my age. So then we headed out to Myrtle Beach. I have anxiety attacks. But back then they weren't that bad, they're just minor. So I remember being really nervous, not knowing what to expect going there. And so it was a long trip. I'd been in the car all day, and I get there, and I had signed up to help be in charge of beverages. I hadn't even gotten out of our, what did we take then? My van, I think. We hadn't even hardly gotten out of it. And the other two girls that were in charge of drinks grab me and say, come on, we got to go get the drinks now. I don't want to get back in another car. I just wanted to chill out for maybe an hour. Nope. Got to go get the beverages. There's over 100 people there. Okay, I understand that, but can I just have an hour? Nope. So Scott has to unload by himself because I'm on my way to the store to go get water and pop and whatever else for everybody. That family was loony anyways. Sorry to say, but that was the only year they were there. I had a really good time meeting a lot of people, but I didn't know anybody there. And so Scott and I, back then we were in a different resort than where we are now. And they had a conference room, and so that year we had dinner in the conference room. The resort put on like a buffet. And since I didn't know anybody there, this was the second year of the retreat. A lot of people already knew each other. We got stuck with the people like my parents' age. And I shouldn't say stuck because one couple actually went every year and we got to know them really well. The husband had passed away a couple years ago, sadly, but yeah. And I had asked for a room facing the ocean because I love listening to water. And we were up on, I forgot what floor. We weren't on the bottom floor. But one of the nights, the fire alarm went off. And so, of course, you can't use the elevators. Going down was not a problem. Going up the stairs to go back to our rooms was. There was no fire. It was teenagers playing a prank, and they did end up finding out who did it. But I loved it. I fell in love with Myrtle Beach. And I've been in love with Myrtle Beach ever since. But you all sit around in a conference room and you cross stitch. And back then we used to buy tickets and raise money. What did we raise money for the first few years? Cancer Society, I think. And then after that, we used to raise money for Make-A-Wish. Women can spend money at these retreats. And we raised a lot of money. And then the Friday night of the retreat is called Grab Bag Night. That is the best night. And what you do is you spend, I think it's like $20, $25 minimum on cross-stitch supplies. No charts. You cannot buy charts. Cross-stitch supplies, and then you can add other stuff in if you want to, other odds and ends. And you have to find a container to put it all in, and people can't see what's in the container. And then you bring your container in a plastic bag so no one can see it when you walk in. Amy's husband, and when Scott, excuse me, I have the hiccups. When Scott goes, he's included in on it. They take the bags from us, and they proceed to put the grab bags all out on these lawn tables. And when they're all on there, we can go in and we can walk around the tables and look and see what containers we like. I'm just grabbing more colors. I've got blue, violet, lake, cobalt blue, hue, and violet blue. So, when you hand the guys your bag with the grab bag in it, they give you a little ticket. So, your little group finds your table where you want to sit for the night. You can bring your cross stitch, and you can cross stitch during this. And when you're allowed to walk around the table before it starts to check out all the grab bags. Amy will draw a ticket, and if you have it, you get up and you look around the table and you pick which item you like, grab the grab bag you like. You go by the container. We have a lot of really neat containers. Some women use Vera Bradley bags. Some women use those really pretty boxes. But you want to be unique. I think my first year there, because it's always the third week of October, although a couple times it was the second week of November, but now it's always the third week. It's always the week of Columbus Day, so we get there like the day after Columbus Day, and you're there till Sunday. Anyways, the grab bag. Amy calls the number on the ticket. If you have it, you get up, you pick the grab bag you want, you sit down. You don't peek inside of it. You don't open it. You just hold on to it. Amy calls the next person. If they want what you have, they can take it. Or they go to the table and they pick a grab bag. The next number's called, they can take from one of the two, the first two, or they can go to the grab bag. So, when you steal an item from someone, what am I doing? That second person can go and steal from someone else instead of going to the table. So I'm just giving you an example. So person number 2 goes and steals from someone else. The third person cannot steal from anybody. They have to go to the table. So there's a lot of stealing going on because there's quite a few good grab bags. And they have the husbands who are there to help, because there are a few women that bring their husbands and they make a vacation of it. The husbands keep track of whose grab bag was stolen the most. Whose was the unique one that was stolen the most. That person gets a prize at the end. Anyways, it takes a few hours for us to get through stealing from each other. A lot of laughter. Some people don't like the idea of stealing, but that's just the fun of it. And my kids have been there a few times with me, and they think it's hilarious. And Scott helps me pick out my containers every year. And I have gotten some really neat containers myself that I won. But yeah, we start at like 7 p.m. and it doesn't end till like 11 p.m. And it's just so much fun. And then Saturday night, they do what's called an ornament exchange. And again, you bring finished cross-stitched ornaments that you make. And for each one that you bring, you get a ticket. And the ornaments are all spread out on a table. Shoot. Smeared that with my hand. All the ornaments are spread out on the table. And again, tickets drawn. When your ticket's drawn, you go up and you pick an ornament that you would like to take home. And that is yours. You don't steal those from each other. But if at the very end, you're like one of the last people called and your ornament's the only one left up there, people will swap with you. It does happen sometimes. Now they do an Halloween exchange also, and a finished piece exchange, like of anything. In some years they have classes. And they cost extra. I've taken a few classes. In the past couple years, I haven't done ornament exchanges because I have so many ornaments now. I don't even have room on my tree, so I stopped doing the ornaments. And what I have been doing is I have garland. I buy the garland with the lights already on it. The pine garland, and I have Scott hang it up along the top of the walls by the ceiling. And I hang all my ornaments off of that instead of the tree. Christmas tree. I have some really beautiful ornaments. So, I admit, 1999 was my first time going. And I missed a year that Justin had braces put on his teeth because that was expensive. So I didn't go that year. And I didn't go the year that Justin graduated because I had to pay for his graduation party and he needed a laptop for college. So I had to buy him a laptop for college. And then I didn't go the year Dylan graduated. Again, graduation party. And Dylan was moving to Pennsylvania to go to school in Pennsylvania. And he needed help because he couldn't find a job down there to help for rent because it was a tech school, so they don't have campus. You had to rent. So I didn't go that year. But there's about 12 of us that have been very close friends for many years. And I ride with them when I don't go with Scott. We have a really, really good time. In the past few years has been in a new resort. And we stay at the Spring Maid Resort, which is the one that has the big pier on it that the hurricane got last year. In fact, the Spring Maid was closed during the retreat last year. They found another place for the girls to have the retreat. And a lot of people couldn't make it in because they couldn't get there. And listening to the news and the devastation, they felt it was safer not to go. So she had a lot of cancellations last year. But they still had a good time. And I didn't get to go last year because I lost my job last year in July. And I couldn't find a job. So that's when I started. Amber wanted to go back to work after Blake was born. She had to wait. So Blake was born last year, the day before Memorial Day. So she hadn't gone back to work yet. I lost my job in July. They gave me 6 weeks notice. I had been missing too much time because I was sick a lot last year. I was back and forth to doctor's offices, getting tests for all kinds of things, and I was having a really bad year, and my employer could not rely on me anymore. So they said because I'd been with them for 9 years, they wanted to give me notice. Plus, I had been diagnosed with asthma, which we figured was from my job. So they wanted to give me time to find a job, but I couldn't find one. I only had one. I probably had my application in about 100 places. I had one interview and I didn't get the job. So there was a reason. I was supposed to babysit the grandsons. And it actually works out because, you know what? My asthma has hardly bothered me. For 2 months now, I've used my puffer twice. Instead of twice a day, I've used it twice total. He's so cute. I hope you've been able to see what I'm doing. I'm glad I used my blender because it really, really pops that out. So, yep. Okay. Some water. It's got to have some water. I'll have to be a little bit lighter because of that. So, let's see what we can find for water. How about Mediterranean blue, Caribbean Sea, and Blue Lake. See? Watercolors. So anyways, I couldn't go last year because Amber had started a new job, and so she wouldn't have vacation time while I was going to need the time off. And what I charged them is half of what daycare's doing. They couldn't afford to pay a daycare. Because Carson used to go to daycare before she had Blake. And the lady would have taken him back, but they couldn't afford the daycare. So I talked to them and said, look, I need to have some income coming in. They only live 6 minutes from me. I don't drive in the snow. So if the weather's really bad, Dylan will come pick me up. And if we know in advance about the weather, I pack extra clothes and my meds and I spend the night there. And I've had to do that a couple times. We had a mild winter, so, and then the days that they called for the bad weather, we didn't even get it. So that happened a couple of times. We didn't get anything. So that's why I couldn't go last year. I didn't have the money first of all, and I couldn't get the time off from babysitting. So this year, they've known since January what my dates are, and they've been looking for a sitter. And Amber makes more money, so she they can pay a sitter. Anyways, I ride with my friend Lori. Justin or Scott or Dylan will take me to meet my friend Lori. She lives like 2 hours away because she doesn't want my car sitting in her driveway. She lives in a trailer park. She doesn't trust people. So we will meet her at a McDonald's. And at first we used to drive to Cincinnati and meet up with our friend Shar. And then back that up. We used to drive to Cincinnati and pick up Shar and Teresa. So there's 4 of us in an SUV with all of our luggage, all of our crustage stuff. And Lori is really, really good at packing. She can get her SUV packed like you wouldn't believe. And then Teresa had moved to Kentucky. So then we were driving to Cincinnati, meeting Shar, driving down to Kentucky, and then up to South Carolina, because we always stay in Manning for a couple days to visit with Amy, who runs the retreat. We stay at the Hampton Inn there, and we share a room. Keeps the cost way down. But the last couple years, Lori and I have just traveled down to meet Sharon and Teresa. The Sharon and Teresa don't live too far apart from each other. And it's easier and faster if Lori and I bypass Kentucky and just head down. Actually, I think it's Sumter, South Carolina, where we stay. Amy lives in Manning. And we'll stay there for a couple days. We'll go visit Amy and help her get things ready for the retreat. And we cross-stitch and have a good time. So it's like family now. I've known them forever. And when I can't go, like last year and the other years I couldn't go, I mope at home. My kids will tell you, and my husband will tell you, I pout because I'm not there. Because I know what I'm missing. We have had women from England that have come to this retreat. Fiona used to come every year. She is from Scotland, but something happened. She no longer comes to the retreat. There was a falling out somewhere along the way, so she doesn't come anymore, and I miss her. We just lost one of our members to cancer this past November. I believe it was, it was November. Was it November? I believe so. She fought a good fight, and she will be missed. So I was really, really upset because I knew her time was coming, and I wanted to really, really be able to see her last year, and I didn't get to say goodbye to her. So I'm going this year. I can't wait. And one year, a couple years ago, the little group of us, they get together almost every spring, and they rent a house either by Amy or down in Myrtle Beach area in the springtime, and they get together again. I have only been able to afford it once, and it was a blast. We stayed at a lake. We had rented a huge house for the week, and we had to cut it short by a couple days because Scott had said there is a huge snowstorm on the way to our house, and we would have ended up driving in it, so we left a few days early. But they are like my family. I have known them for years, and Lori, Sharon, Teresa that I ride with, we also have gone, a few times in the spring, in April it is. There used to be a cross-stitch retreat for Mirabilia, which Nora Adams is the designer. Nora Corbett? I'm not sure. Anyway, she's the designer of Mirabilia patterns. And Leslie, she has a business doing overdyed fabrics, she puts on the retreat. And it's been in Cincinnati and it's been in Columbus. And I've gone 3 times with Lori, Sharon, Teresa. We've had a blast. Well, last year Leslie moved right after the retreat, and she now lives in Texas. So the retreat is now in Texas, and that's a little bit too far of a drive, so we won't be doing that anymore, and I wouldn't have been able to anyways. That's too close in color. And so I have met some really great stitchers through that retreat as well. And they also do a grab bag. It's a little bit different, but it's a lot of fun. I get a lot of stitching done at these retreats. I love Myrtle Beach. They have there is a shopping center called Broadway at the Beach that I absolutely love. I love to spend the day there walking around and shopping. There's restaurants, all kinds of neat little shops. And then in North Myrtle Beach is Barefoot Landing that is similar to that, and I love that there too. Actually, the one at Barefoot Landing has a store called Purpleology, and everything in there is purple, and that's my favorite color. So I've gone 2 years in a row now that I know about it, and I've shopped in there. I have some jewelry. Bought a purse in there. So, yep, that's why I wanted to do a coloring retreat, but it seems like the people in the coloring community are more housebound people with health issues, and or like Anne, they take care of their elderly parents or sick parents and can't take the time to go, which I understand. So I kind of dropped the idea of having a coloring retreat. But if you are out listening and you say, yes, I can, let me know. We'll think of something. I have all kinds of hotels around here. I could find out prices for rooms. And we're talking Rochester, New York. There's an airport. There's a train station. There's all kinds of craft stores. We have a Hobby Lobby. We have Michael's. We have AC Moore. We have Joann's, etc. We have the art store. There's a lot to do. So since I know the coloring or the cross stitch community is so much fun and we have a blast, I really wanted to do something like that. Okay, the only thing I have left is this butterfly. So I have like 10 minutes left before this is going to go into a second folder. I might finish this tonight and then just show it tomorrow. I want to do more color and chat videos. Because I color almost every night. Not always, but I try to. I'd really like to do more color and chats. I'm not going to be able to buy supplies for a while. Or coloring books. So I'm not going to have too many hauls. And I want to do more buddy colored lawns. I know I chatted a lot about the retreat. If you have any questions that I might have missed about the retreat, we just do a lot of swapping and getting to know each other. And a lot of us are very close, so yeah. Okay. He's all done except for that butterfly. See the butterfly? And I think I'm going to leave the sky blank because I thought of doing blues or purples, but I got blue in the water and the flowers are pink, so I think I'm going to leave that the way it is for now, and I will color the purple. I might color the butterfly tonight and then just show you the finished product tomorrow. Or I might do a color and chat tomorrow, do the butterfly in the color and chat, and then start another project. How does that sound? I think that's what I'll do. Though I really don't have anything to do tonight. So, we'll see. But that's it. If you like this, please click on like. And I have a little bit of yellow in the eye area. I still want to take the Posca pen, paint and put little white dots over that, make them a little brighter, add maybe a little bit of the white in the water. But he is adorable. I can hear him going quack quack. Yes. Jen gets a kick out of me giggling over my colored pictures. She was laughing at me today. So, thanks, Jen. Jen's been a big help. So, I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.